Hi, Andrew from SACS, and welcome to video number 4 in our 12 video sequence on neurodiversity, where we talk about hiring and managing people with neurodiversity. In this specific one, we'll be asking the question, well, why would you do this? And the answer is that people with neurodivergences can be shown to have particular strengths that are not always available in people who are what you might call neurotypical. So there's a talent opportunity in neurodivergency. So for instance, if you look at people who have dyslexia, there are strengths like entrepreneurship. People who are dyslexic can be more successful in entrepreneurial activity. They can also be more creative, they can be good at visual reasoning, and they can have a range of practical skills which are not what you might call academic skills. So dyslexic people have often been associated with huge successes in areas like the arts or business, because this creativity, this sort of alternative way of looking at the world, particularly when it comes to aesthetics, can be very powerful in driving success in certain types of jobs. Let's talk about developmental coordination disorder. This can be associated with strengths in verbal comprehension. So sometimes people with developmental coordination disorder can be unusually strong writers, unusually strong decoders of verbal messages, unusually strong in understanding the subtleties of meaning that can be there in some forms of verbal communication. So that's a particular strength. ADHD. Once more, ADHD has its own particular strengths. Creativity. People with ADHD can be unusually creative. People with ADHD can be particularly strong in aesthetics and in things associated with the arts. And also hyperfocus and courage. I don't know if you're into mountaineering, but for instance, if you look at documentaries about the great mountaineers, the great rock climbers, often they really struggled at school and they were either diagnosed with or suspected of having ADHD, because ADHD does seem to be associated with a sense of real courage. Now, in business settings, this can be associated with things like entrepreneurship as well. Autism spectrum disorder, memory special skills such as reading, drawing, computation. So in many organisations where there's been a necessity for high levels of concentration on very technical material, it's sometimes been found that people with ASD can have a special gift in this respect. They concentrate very effectively, and if what you're asking them to focus on is something that they have an interest in, that interest can become a passion. In addition, innovation and a talent for detail. So ASD of its very nature is an alternative take on the world. And that alternative take on the world can relate to something that's often called positive deviance. Positive deviance is where a person does something in an organisation which is different from what we've done in the past, but it makes things better. People who have autism spectrum disorder can see the world in a different way and can contribute alternative perspectives that otherwise may not have been thought of. The next video in this sequence is the question of whether you're ready for neurodiversity. We'll be talking about morals, ethics, and resources necessary to ensure the success and the well-being of the people who you're hiring who are neurodiverse, but also the same for the existing employees and their leaders. If you find this content helpful, then like and subscribe.